Komets Hockey.
My Komets on my TV.
My Komets on My TV is presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Good evening, Reading, Pennsylvania, where tonight the Fort Wayne Komets come into the Santander Arena to take on the defending ECHL champs, of course, the Reading Royals. The Komets coming off a game in Elmira last night, a game in which, hey, guess what, everybody? They had a lead and were not able to hold on to that lead. They end up falling to the Jackals last night in a shootout, a game that went back and forth, and the Komets had the lead and then lost it and were able to battle back a couple of different times and tie the game, but then ended up falling 4-3 in a shootout. Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Schegler. Will be your play-by-play man here for this Komet hockey game on the road as our 12-game broadcast schedule continues here on My TV Fort Wayne. These broadcasts being brought to you by Parkview Sports Medicine and
in-house engineering.
A Signer. He is second on the Reading Royals in goals with 5. Ryan Carruthers is another forward. And then you got Matt Capinelli along with Marvin Degon. As we get things started, the starting lineup, Scott Fleming brings it into the zone for the K's. And a shot right away on goalie Brandon Anderson, and he is holding on. Fleming with that shot there. He is joined in the starting lineup by Brandon Marino, as well as Chris Auger, Rob Kwiet, and Jace Coyle. All right, so face-off here in the offensive zone for the K's, and it is won by Reading as it moves over into the corner. Pushed ahead by the Royals. This is Caparuso. Caparuso into the neutral zone, flips it down into the corner. Andre Makarov is the starting goalie for the K's, and he is quickly tested in front, rebound, and knocked aside back behind the net. And here come the K's the other way. Turnover in the neutral zone. The Royals back at it. Marino comes away with an interception of a pass, and Fleming dumps it in. K's get a change. Quickly comes out Mickey Lang, the ECHL goal leader with 14, got one last night. And giving chase down the wing, Menardo for Reading. He is the leading goal scorer for the Royals. Shot and gloved by Anderson. Lang, the offering. You're watching the scoreboard feed from here inside the arena. So you will see some promos, as you're seeing right now, that are put up. This is actually what the live crowd in the arena is seeing, so you will get some replays, but you also will see some of the promotions that they're showing throughout the game. Early portions of the game, Mike Vaskivuo. And there's Kent Miller trying to keep it in the zone. Mike Vaskivuo picked up his 200th career assist last night, so congratulations to him as we have an icing on the other end. Talking to head coach Gary Graham before the game, he said that he really wants to see some production out of the third line tonight. We're talking about Tristan King and Mangan and Kaylee Schrock. He needs to get those guys involved. They need to get greasy and get some goals, get some production. Deflected in front is the shot from Danis-Pépin. Here is Lang working in the corner. Back up top to Pépin. Shot on goal, never made it through. That was Southorn, of course, newly acquired in the Tuzzolino trade. And here come the Royals on the attack. They flip it in, and down giving chase is Yannick Tifu. It's his bobblehead night. He's got to be fired up. And they're unable to keep it in. K's get caught in a change, and they get kind of a break as offsides is called. Early portions of the first period here from Reading, Pennsylvania. The Sovereign Center, Santander Arena in the Southorn Center. Here come the K's. This is Kaylee Schrock in that third line. He puts a shot in on Anderson. Blocker saves. Goes out into the corner. K's able to keep it in. Another shot quickly on goal. Anderson has no problem with it. That was Hartman. Now they're digging at it in the corner. Still fighting and feeding it in front. Couple shots on goal, couple rebounds, still loose in the crease, still loose. Another shot, and finally Reading is able to get it out of the zone. Couple of great chances for that third line that Gary Graham wanted to see something out of, and their first shift tonight comes through with a stellar opportunity. (17-17) in the first period. No score here early on as we are in the early portions of the game here from Reading. Face-off won by the Royals, and then dumping it around is Marvin Degon. Fighting for it in the corner. Marino is absolutely laid out by one of the Royals. But the K's are able to cancel it out and bring it out of the zone. Turnover in the neutral zone. Crowd wanted a penalty on Brandon Marino. They won't get it. The K's dump it in. That's Chase Coyle. Rob Kwiet is able to knock it back deep into the zone. Talked to a couple of the guys in the locker room before the game. They talked about how skilled a skating team the Royals are. Of course, the defending champs, they have talent. There's no doubt about that. Got to get it down deep into Reading's zone. Keep it simple. And kind of grind one out here against a very skilled team. This is Marino dumping it in. Out comes the Miller line. Bryant Molly, a blast from the past. Of course, part of that championship team a couple years ago with the Komets. He is on this team, and he came here to Reading and got another championship last year. He's done well for himself in his first couple years as a pro. There's Vaskivuo streaking up the wing, winding and firing, and the shot goes wide, and back comes Reading with the counter. Shot deflected up high off the boards. Back come the K's. Errant pass by Vaskivuo, and Anderson slows it down there, and here comes Reading. Coach Graham also talked a lot about how skilled the forwards are for Reading and how aggressive they are. They got to win the turnover battle here tonight, as Reading will definitely try to put on the pressure, cause a lot of turnovers at all parts of the ice, especially in the neutral zone. So that's something that you'll want to keep an eye on as we move through the game, is how well are the K's able to take care of the puck. And when they are able to take care of the puck, are they able to counter the pressure that Reading is putting on? Here's Schrock flipping one towards the goal. It gets deflected in front, stays down in the corner. Lowski, who is recently back into the lineup off of an injury that kept him out for over a month. Shot in, rebound, goes high over the glass, or over the net, I should say. Schrock still fighting for it as he deflected that one in front, but it went about 5 feet too high off the deflection. This another good shift from this third line. Zidlowski, backhander, deflected, never made it through. Into the corner. Now feeding it in front, goes off a skate, and Reading comes away with it. Into the zone. Reading fighting for it. Luksovic down there for the Royals, as well as a number of Komets, and finally digging it out of there are the K's. I believe that was Miller. Here's Auger on the other end, working in the corner. Degon marks him. Fleming fans on one on the boards, and that results in the puck being cleared. And that one deflected up into the crowd. And we have a timeout on the ice. We're going to take it with them. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
And now, back to My Komets Hockey on My TV Fort Wayne, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Tommy Schegler back with you here from Reading, Pennsylvania, the Southorn Center. First period, 13:20 to go. No score between the Komets and the Reading Royals. This broadcast of Komet Hockey brought to you by Parkview Sports Medicine. And Anderson holding on an offering from Fleming as the Komets continue to pepper the goaltender with shots, although nothing real crucial at this point except for that one flurry that the K's had in front, but right now out shooting the Royals 6-2. Good starts have not been a problem for the Komets. It's holding on to things that is what they're trying to get over and trying to figure out how to do. One face-off deflected up into the mesh. My conversation with Gary Graham, he talked about the pressure, which I talked about. He also talked about controlling the neutral zone, and in order to do that, he really felt like they had to do a great job of managing the puck tonight. And he said if they didn't, what Reading really likes to do is they like to force those turnovers, and it ends up resulting in a lot of odd man rushes. So we want to make sure that we win the turnover battle and we don't give up a lot of odd man rushes. Definitely the main key and the main thing that was worrying Gary Graham headed into tonight. Shot on Makarov, rebound in front, deflected off into the corner. That was a big shot by Minardo, the leading goal scorer for Reading. Back behind the net is Bryant Molly, former Komet. And here's Minardo, streaking up the board. Centering feed, intercepted and canceled out by Hartman. Hartman gets it up and then shoveling it along is Miller. K's give up possession, however, and drifting back with it are the Royals. This is Jens. Outlets right down the middle of the ice and quickly taken care of. That was Gasly. But the Royals back with it. 12 minutes left to go in the first period. No score here between the Komets and Reading Royals. Tristan King almost came up with a steal, but then streaking up and getting it back behind the net, Brandon Ladina. Ladina still fighting for it over here in the corner. K's chip it back out of the zone all the way down to the other end. And Brandon Anderson handles it. Turnover in front. K's unable to corral it. And now here comes the big fella. This is Clarkson. Clarkson recently sent down here. Just got to Reading. And a turnover. Turnover in front. Can the K's dodge a bullet here? They do get it out away from the front of the goal from Makarov. Zidlowski was able to deflect it over to the boards. This is Zidlowski bringing it into the zone. Flips it into the corner. Giving chase, Auger. This is Auger behind his own net, feeding in front. One-timer and a goal! Scott Fleming on the score off the assist from Auger. And once again, the Komets take an early lead. Fantastic feed by Chris Auger. He will get the assist. And that lets us have the opportunity to remind you that a proud representative of West Bend Mutual Insurance Company and a proud Komet sponsor, let Matt Gregory and Gregory Associates assist you with your insurance needs. Whether it be home, auto, life, business insurance, since 1933, a family business taking care of families and business. Komets up 1-0 here in Reading. Scott Fleming tallying the goal. A pretty play from the two longtime teammates. They go all the way back to grade school. 7th goal of the year for Fleming. And here comes Reading. Odd man rush in front. Makarov, a nice poke check to get that puck away from a really impending threat, and the K's are able to clear without too much damage. Vaskivuo into the zone, gives it up to Miller. Miller handled on the boards, and then it's Degon coming away with it in the corner. Outletting and coming up the ice is Yannick Tifu, and we got a whistle. Offsides. 9:45 left to go in the first period. 1-0 Komets on a Scott Fleming goal. And we have a timeout on the ice. We are going to take it with them. You're watching My Komets. Ryan Santana wins the draw to get play started as we rejoin live action. Tommy Schegler with you here from Reading. The Komets up 1-0 here in the first period. Scott Fleming scoring just moments ago. Loose puck behind the net. And Zidlowski able to corral, but then cut off on the boards. Outmanned are the Komets here on the near side boards. And fighting for it valiantly is Zidlowski, but he loses it momentarily. Danis-Pépin gives chase back behind the net. Feed in front. Shot on the way, goes wide of the cage. That was Ryan Cavanaugh. And Kaylee Schrock flips it into the Reading zone. Komets get a change. Chipped along into the K zone, and an icing. Menardo unable to get on the other side of the red line to get that chip forward. So to come all the way back down to the Komets end, they lead in shots on goal right now 8-3 and lead on the scoreboard 1-0. Big shot on the way and wide from Coyle. And Menardo is able to clear the zone. K's quickly regained possession. Fleming into the zone. Deflected wide of the cage was a shot from Marino. Back comes Reading the other way. This is Menardo fighting for it. And quickly knifed away. And now here come the K's on the other end. Coyle chips it down deep. Then wisely gets back. And Reading has a chance for a rush right here. Menardo trying to get around Hartman. Hartman able to handle one of the better players on the ice. And Makarov clears with a long wrap around the boards type of clear. And we get another icing. Not much flow to this game early on, especially from the Reading side. They've been called for a number of icings and have really been unable to get anything going as they gain the zone. Couple of opportunities on Makarov, but he's been able to stand up to the test. Only 3 official shots on goal. Miller wins the draw so cleanly that it comes out of the zone. This is William Lacasse. Lacasse backhands it in, down into the corner. Here is Reading. Feed in front, knocked away. And here comes Vaskivuo, the other end. Leaves it for Lang. Lang shot on goal. Feed in front by Vaskivuo, no one home. And then a shot back in front, never made it to Anderson, and back come the Royals in the other direction. Caparuso sends it in deep. And the Komets doing a good job of getting it out of their zone quickly. Lang lost possession momentarily. Here is Miller. Miller looking to the center where Vaskivuo was waiting, unable to get the pass through. Lang upended, and then a shot in by Danis-Pépin. Anderson deflects it off into the corner. Pépin throws it across to Southorn. Southorn, the new defenseman, brings it into the zone. And it's deflected back behind the net. Anderson caught out. And the K's unable to take advantage as Schrock was taken down in the corner. Clarkson dumps it in, and Makarov will cover up. 6:24 left to go in the first period. 1-0 Komets. The early lead. Back Back to live action here from the Southorn Center in Reading. K's with it deep in their own zone. They finally get it out. We are just under 6 minutes to go here left in the first period. Komets with a 1-0 lead. Parkview Sports Medicine providing you this Komets road game, one of our 12 that we are doing this year. Been a lot of fun so far. Love to see a big win for the Komets tonight. As all the way down to the other end, yet another icing for the Royals. So we'll get ready for another face-off. Fleming so far has been good. He sets up on the dot. Goes up against Yannick Tifu and comes up short in this situation. Right now with the puck, an interesting story. That's Mike Banwell, and he was just sent down from Bridgeport. Talked to one of the officials from Reading. They said that they literally just found out that he was going to be sent today. He was trying to fight traffic in order just to make it here. And when I talked to one of the Reading team officials about, I don't know, half hour before the game, he didn't think he was going to make it here in time. So this is the first time I've noticed him out on the ice. I don't know whether he got here a little late, suited up, but he is out there right now, defenseman for the Royals. Fleming in the slot, sends one in, deflected up and over the cage, but the K's keep it in. Danis-Pépin back in front, deflected wide right. Good shift by the Komets. Southorn corrals, drifts back into his own zone, and then outlets to Fleming. Fleming backhands it forward, and then sending it up is Auger. K's try to keep it in the zone, and they do. They get the turnover, and we got a call. I think we got our first penalty of the game. Wait for the official call. It's going to go against Brandon Marino, and I believe it's going to be a hooking call. The way of Reading with 4:26 left to go here in the first period. Komets have been great on the penalty kill this year. We'll see if they can keep that up. They also have had a tendency, as a one-time shot goes wide left of the cage, had a tendency to give up goals late in periods. You'd hate to see that here. Makarov here on the near side post, able to cut off a deflected pass in front that almost squeaked in. And then Lang is able to send it down and clear it. Under the 4-minute mark now in the first period. The Reading Royals on the power play. Bringing it up, it's Kavanaugh. They send it in down deep. Makarov plays it behind the net, unable to clear, however. Here on the near side, Kavanaugh momentarily lets it out, and coming the other way, here's Auger. Auger with a chance, backhanded goal! A short-handed goal, Chris Auger, and the Komets take a 2-0 lead here in Reading. Kavanaugh misplayed it on the blue line, and Chris was there, Johnny on the spot to poke check it away. And when you get Auger out in open ice, he can be very, very dangerous, and he gets yet another shorthanded goal. He already has a couple on the year, and the Komets now up 2-0 here in Reading. 3:25 left to go here in the first period. Reading still on the power play for another 56 seconds, and driving in on Makarov. Centering feed goes wide, and here comes Schrock. Schrock, the other end, sends one in on Anderson, save. But a great penalty kill right now going on for the Komets as they're getting more offensive chances than the Royals. Once again, able to clear it. Mickey Lang giving chase. Vaskivuo, another turnover. Vaskivuo in front, and Anderson stands tall and makes the save. A huge moment for the Royals netminder as Mike Vaskivuo was walking in and had a great opportunity to get the second shorthanded goal of this power play for Reading. Now another chance. Mickey Lang trying to pass it over to Marino, who's out of the box, and we're now back to even strength. But what a fantastic penalty kill there by the Komets. And we got a whistle on the ice. I believe it was an offsides. Admittedly missed the call there, but pretty sure offsides, and the face-off is going to come down into the Reading zone here, so it wasn't offsides. Missed that one, but either way, 2:14 left to go, and actually it was a penalty. I missed the call, but in the box right now is Doug Clarkson for the Royals. I have to wait for an official scorer there. Too many men on the ice, the official call there. So, first power play of the night, Rock Bottom Inc. power play for the Komets. See what they can do. Special teams have already come through in one way from a shorthanded standpoint. Let's see if they can get a power play goal in the last 2 minutes here. Danis-Pépin deflected in front. Marino scores! Danis-Pépin was walking in from the point. A great look as he passed it to a driving Marino on the left side, and Marino deflects it in past Brandon Anderson, and that is a Rock Bottom Inc. power play goal for the Komets. Rock Bottom Inc., your answer for consumers who consider the environmental and economic benefits of working with a local remanufactured ink cartridge retailer. To learn more about Rock Bottom Inc., just go to rockbottominc.com or give them a call, 260-748-0636. Rock Bottom Inc. and Graphics Output, one of the great sponsors of our Comet Road games here on MyTV Fort Wayne. And boy, it has been a fun first period for the Komets as they are now up 3-0 here on the defending champs. .123 left in the first period. Kays want to make sure that they close out this period strong and hold Reading to a goose egg. And walking in, sending one in, who glove save by Makarov. Dustin Gasly sending it in there. This coming Monday, sound off with the Komets. Jace Coyle is going to be our guest down at Champion Sports Bar. Come on down and enjoy the show, 7:30 to 8. Somebody in the live audience gets a chance to win a free autographed Steve Fletcher bobblehead along with 4 tickets to an upcoming Komets game. Champions, family friendly, you can bring your kids. Parking is free in the garage behind the Courtyard by Marriott. Turnover, and we got a whistle. Reading offsides. So it'll come out of the zone. That was a big hit put on by the Royals. I believe it was Marino who took the brunt of that. Fleming fighting and winning the faceoff. Last minute, we're at the 1 minute mark of the first period. 3-0 Komets. Can the Royals get something going? Here's the rush by Degon. They're unable to get it in cleanly. They have to drift back out to neutral's ice, and now bringing it in up the left wing is Capinelli. Capinelli back up top. Sending it over in the corner. Shot up top, goes over the crossbar. Feed in front, deflected, never got through. Degon sends it back down behind the net. Kays still trying to clear and are finally able to do so. Campanelli sends it in. Makarov sends it over into the corner. And here are the K's. 5 seconds left in the period, and that'll about do it. First period in the books. Komets with a fantastic first 20 minutes. They are up 3-0 here in Reading. Really fantastic showing as goals early on by Fleming off of a fantastic pass from Chris Auger, and then Auger turned around and got a shorthanded goal of his own, and finally Brandon Marino finishing off the scoring for the Komets to make it 3-0 at the end of the first period. We're going to take our first break. We'll come back, talk a little bit more about the first period. You're watching My Komets on My TV. They are back a week from tomorrow for a game at home, December 15th against Evansville. It's Teddy Bear Toss Night. I want to explain this as the K's get deep into the zone once again of the Royals, but here come the Royals in the other direction. Drifting into the corner and then having his pass intercepted was Campanelli. But Reading is able to get it back. Tristan King almost forced a turnover in the Reading zone. And Coyle corrals it in the neutral zone. Marino sends it in. So you're going to ask, what's this Teddy Bear toss all about? Oh, here comes a rush on Makarov and a blocker save as walking in and spinning was TJ Signer. And Signer is second in the goal scoring category for the Reading Royals. That was a great chance there by Reading. One of those odd man rushes that Gary Graham talked about trying to prevent. In the slot, shot on the way, save made by Anderson. So teddy bear toss. What they want you to do, the Komets want you to bring a teddy bear or some kind of stuffed animal to the game on the 15th. When the Komets score their first goal, everyone is going to throw what they got in their hands out on the ice. It should just be an absolute shower of teddy bears and stuffed animals, and it's going to be a lot of fun. They're then going to take everything that is thrown on the ice and donate it to charity, kids for Christmas presents. So it's a great cause, a lot of fun. It's going to be an interesting spectacle to see everything get thrown out onto the ice. Let's hope we get a chance to do that very early on in the game after an early Komets goal. Here's Southorn trying to clear, gets it up to Lang. Here come the K's storming through center. Izidlowski lost a handle on it. So make sure you bring a teddy bear or a stuffed animal on the 15th for Teddy Bear Toss Night. Next time the K's are at home on the 15th against Evansville. Here is Kaylee Schrock into the zone. Up the wing, wrister on the way, saved by Anderson. Centering feed, no one home. Early portions of the second period, Komets with a 3-0 lead. Reading clears it all the way down to the other end, and another icing. It's one of those games where I wish I had been keeping track of how many icing calls there's been, because not too many for the Komets, but Reading has at least got half a dozen, maybe more. Really kind of killed any kind of rhythm they've been able to get as they keep having that happen to them and just unable to get any kind of rhythm going offensively. Great for the Komets as everybody's fighting for it in the corners. Zidlowski comes away with it, now chopping at it is King. Hartman pinched down momentarily, then gets back to the blue line. Lacasse feeding in front is Kaylee, and it deflects out into the corner, and here comes Reading the other way. Through the zone quickly, 3-on-2 developing, up the right wing, shot in, Makarov, glove save. Ryan Santana, the offering, Andrei Makarov, the Russian, no problem there. Komets came into this game second worst in the ECHL in goals against, 3.53 a game. Obviously, that's something they want to try to correct, and right now, Almost 4 minutes into the second period, pitching a shutout against the champs. Auger here on the near side. And he's canceled out, and coming in the other direction quickly are the Royals. Fighting back was Marino, and he was able to poke check away a centering feed pass. Royals send it back in. Makarov covers up as Signer was driving on the net here on the near side. We'll get a face-off. Next game on my TV, not until after the holidays, everybody. Saturday, December 28th. Another game down in Evansville. It's going to be a Saturday night affair. 8:15 the start time on my TV Fort Wayne. Don't miss Komet Hockey here all season long. Brought to you by Parkview Sports Medicine. Here's Mike Vaskivuo sending it ahead to Kenton Miller, and high stick. He played it with the high stick, so stop it up, and we will do it all over again with another face-off here just outside of the K zone. K still leading it in shots with a big lead, 16-6. Miller came away with another face-off win. K's unable to do anything with it. Redding sends it back in deep. Makarov plays it with the glove, shovels it along. Danis-Pépin. Bryant Molly, former Komet, pinches down, sends it back into the corner. K's able to flip it up and out. Southorn. Mickey Lang giving chase. Molly comes away with it. Up the other end, looking for an outlet. Sends it off the boards, and then shoveling it along and getting it down deep was Monardo, but the Komets are able to regain possession and get it out. Deflected up into the Reading bench. We'll get a face-off. Pretty good crowd has filled in here to the Southorn Center. I think I mentioned earlier it is Yannick Tifu bobblehead night. That probably has a little something to do with it. Saw some K's fans here throughout the night. There are a couple scattered about. I made the 9.5-hour drive earlier today. Dodged the weather. And actually got to see a good bit of Ohio and Pennsylvania on my way. And not a bad drive, pretty straightforward. And I'm glad that I made it at this point, because right now the Komets may have played their best period, and offsides call as unable to keep it in was Lukasevic. Just unable to keep it inside the blue line, so to come back out of the zone, but may have been the best period of the season so far for the Komets in the first period. A 3-0 advantage here in Reading. We talked at the very top of the broadcast about hoping to get on a roll, and what a good way this would be to start to push things in the right direction, to come to one of the better teams in the league on their ice and get a win. Hit up top on Brandon Marino by Campanelli, and that is going to draw a penalty, I believe. Yep, Campanelli is headed into the box. He came up pretty high on Brandon Marino, and he is going to get sent into the box. That'll bring up a Rock Bottom Inc. power play. K's scored on their only other power play of the night, so let's see what they can do with it here. Zidlowski. Here's Danis-Pépin. 2 minutes roughing for Campanelli. Sending it in and deflected in front. Out, open net, but it gets deflected into the corner. Anderson on the short side had it wide open for a second, but no Komet was home, able to pound it home. Auger leaves it for Pépin. Out of Marino. Marino walking in, tried a cross-ice feed, and it was intercepted and cleared by the Royals. Here comes Southorn. One of the reasons the K's acquired him was to be able to work on the power play. Auger sends it around. Marino in the corner. They work it from low to high, up to Pépin. Now Marino winds and fires. Save made by Anderson. 13:48 left to go in the second period. Still 3-0 Komets. And here comes a chance for Menardo, deflected by Southorn. And he comes up a little lame after deflecting that shot. Got one on the shin or in the left leg area somewhere. He immediately comes over to the bench. Still 40 seconds left on the power play for the Komets. And this is Jace Coyle outletting it to Kwiet. Kwiet sends it in. Giving chase is Miller. Digging it out of there is Vaskivuo. Squirts out to the other side, and Kwiet pitches down, keeps it in deep. Here's Vask. Back up top to Coyle. Vaskivuo loses an edge on the wall, and results in a clearing of the puck for the Royals. And we're back to even strength as the Royals are able to kill off the penalty. Campanelli. Gaisley in front winds and fires. Makarov gave up a fat rebound in front, but no Royal was there to take advantage. Back down in deep for Reading. Coyle corrals, avoids Clarkson, but Clarkson able to fight for it. Knifes it away. Now digging at it in the corner. And a shot in front. Makarov save. K's still unable to clear, however. Santana looking for a centering feed. No one was there to get it to him. Here's Clarkson. The big fella sends one in wide of the cage. It's a good shift right now for Reading as they've had a couple of chances. In the corner, Santana. Santana backhander, no problem. Makarov blocker save. Sending it in and never making it through. Kavanaugh's shot deflected. Komets have got to get it out of there. Coyle unable to do so. Here it is, Clarkson. Walking in. Lukovic, cross ice. Bouncing puck finally corralled and sent in wide of the cage. Komets have got to clear. Kaylee Schrock unable to do so. Chopping at it are the Komets in the corner. Rob Kwiet finally comes away with it, and the Komets finally get it out of there in a much-needed line change. 11 minutes left to go in the second period. Still 3-0 Komets. Sean Zidlowski. His pass is intercepted on the boards, and back come the Royals. Feeling a little bit of a push here from Reading, and we got a call. I think that's going to be a high stick, and then a little bit of extra activity down here in the corner. And have to wait for the call from the official. The penalty box. And that is Yannick Tifu. So it's going to be the Komets on the power play. I have to say I was expecting it to be on the K's as well, as it seemed like a stick got up high on one of the Royals from the Komets. But either way, when we come back from this time, K's are going to be on a Rock Bottom Inc. power play. You're watching My Komets on my TV.
The Tempur Choice Supreme features adjustable comfort zones, so each sleeper can select the perfect feel for head and legs, and separately for the lower back for individual comfort and support. It's your bed, your way. Now at your locally owned Mattress Warehouse. To make sure local people with cancer receive the support they need, Mattress Warehouse will again this year make a donation to Cancer Services of Northeast Indiana with every mattress set sold through the holidays.
Welcome to Local Pros Who Know, an inside look at our local businesses. House of Furniture offers an ever-changing selection of unique home fashions to fit your personality. They invite you to explore and become inspired by their exclusive new and vintage furniture and other home decor. Make sure to like House of Furniture on Facebook for their latest arrivals, located downtown on West Jefferson Boulevard. For more, check out Local Pros Who Know at incnow.tv.
You're watching My Komets on my
presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
And for the Komets, as we are back here in the second period from Reading, Pennsylvania, 3-0 K's. Can they make it 4-0 with another power play goal? They had one earlier in the game. Cross ice to Southorn, fakes the shot, now tries to send one in that's deflected back over into the corner. Zidlowski gives chase. Everybody digging at it over there, fighting for it. Finally comes out, pinching down and saving it from clearing the zone in Southorn, but that only momentarily. As it now comes out to center ice, Brandon Marino backhands it forward and sends it along. Southorn gains the zone. And a centering feed, and this chance, breakaway possibility. Komets do a great job of getting back, and then Makarov, a no-problem save on an offering sent in by Blandina. 1 minute left on the power play for the Komets. They're up 3-0 here in the second period. Pépin fans on one at the blue line, and Reading is able to clear. Mind everybody, Rock Bottom is your answer for consumers who consider the environmental and economic benefits of working with a local remanufactured ink cartridge retailer. Go to rockbottominc.com for more information. Mickey Lang sends one in. Saved by Anderson. Over into the corner, and Reading once again able to clear. Still 30 seconds left on the power play. Just went past the midway point of the second period. Lang, centering feed from Vaskivuo is deflected, and Reading comes away with it once again. K's unable to get much going on this power play, and it is about expired at this point. Coyle, this will be the last rush for the K's, is now back to even strength. And just does clear the zone, so Reading now on the rush. Turnover in the neutral zone. Backdoor feed, and unable to handle the pass was Gasly. .8:31 left to go here in the first, or in the second period, I should say. 3-0. Komets unable to get anything done there on the power play. We got official timeout on the ice. We are going to take it with them. You're watching My Komets on My TV. Back to live action here from Reading. Komets lose another face-off, but then are able to get it out of the zone. Pépin sends it in front in the slot, and King is unable to finish. He had a great opportunity there. Here is King, gaining the zone. Schrock driving at the net down the middle. Now he's the one handling it behind the net. Over to King. King wheels around. Big wind and fire by Pépin. Loose puck in front, and Anderson covers, and then a big shove to Kaylee Schrock. Much to the delight of the 4,000-plus crowd here at the Southorn Center. Brandon Anderson not pleased with the extra effort that Schrock was giving. As you take a look at the replay, Schrock's never been known to try to do anything to get under an opponent's skin. Don't know what Anderson's problem is. Royals win the face-off, but it's Auger fighting for it behind the net. And Komets going to get called for an icing. 7:32 left to go in the second period. Komets still with a 3-0 lead. All three tallies coming in the first period. They've outshot the Royals 19-10. Only gave up 4 shots on goal in the first period, so a couple more so far for the Royals here in the second period. Question is, can the K's finish this game out? They've had the lead before. Let's play a whole 60.
See ya. Take care.
Another face-off here in the K zone. Scott Fleming lining up against Louis Caparuso. And won by Caparuso. Sent in and squeezing it is Makarov. Big shot by Marvin Degon. We'll get another face-off. Going to be Fleming again. Caparuso again. That one finally knocked into the corner by Joe Hartman. Caparuso working on Fleming. On the boards, Auger comes in, momentarily intercepts, but still able to keep it in are the Royals. Campanelli swinging it around. Caparuso. Centering feed all the way through to the opposite side corner. Gaisley now with it. Gaisley with Brandon Marino fighting, and we got a whistle away from the puck, and I believe we got a cross-check call on William Lacoste. Let me make sure that that's officially what it is, but I believe I saw the ref make that signal. Yep, cross-check. Got another officials timeout. When we come back from that timeout, it's going to be Reading on the power play, so big penalty kill coming up for the Komets. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
Sports Medicine.
Here for the Komets with 6:40 left in the second period. Can they kill off this power play and keep the momentum going with a 3-0 lead? Gaisley working here in the corner. Gaisley still with it. Sends it up top. Back to Gaisley, though. Menardo, the Reading leading goal scorer, tried to corral it, but the K is able to clear. Kaylee Schrock out there for the Komets, as well as Brandon Marino, Rob Kwiet, Chase Coyle. Menardo giving chase, but Coyle able to clear. Minute left in the power play for the Royals. As visibly frustrated are some of the Reading players as they go to the bench. They've just been able to get nothing going. The Komets have done a great job of making everything hard. Their entries into the zone, very few have been clean. There was only that one shift earlier in this period where they really got a lot of momentum going. Scott Fleming lost his stick momentarily, but he's got it back. And the Royals now set it up. 30 seconds left on the power play. Walking in, feed in front. Quick shot attempted by Campanelli, and Kwiet knifed it away, and a deflection in front, but Makarov makes the save, and that was a nice screen shot. Ryan Carruthers was in the slot, and I believe he got a piece of it as it came in on Andrei Makarov, but the Russian makes the save. 19 seconds left on the power play. Campanelli and Fleming once again going at it in the face-off circle. Campanelli comes away with the win. K's one more clear should about do it for this power play for the Royals. Fleming trying to get that right now, unable to do so. Set back in deep, and a penalty is going to come up on Jordan Southorn as he just took down Ryan Carruthers deep in the zone right in front of the referee. So not so fast on the power play being done. There's 3 seconds left in the original power play to Lacoste, but Southorn is now going right into the bin, so it's going to be 3 seconds of a man advantage for the Royals. Caparuso against Fleming here on the face-off. And Fleming wins it, and then Makarov clears it. Coming out of the box is Makarov. Here's Fleming trying to counter. Nice shot. Handcuffed Anderson momentarily. He used the defender as a screen on that one. Savvy move by one of the best players on the Komets roster. All right, so another penalty kill situation for the Komets. Minute 36 left on this penalty to Southorn. Here's Fleming trying to poke check on Caruso. Caruso in front, and Carruthers scores on the backside. Reading on the board with a power play goal. Like to see a replay as we're taking a look at one now. As Caparuso walking in. I thought Carruthers got a piece of that on the backside. We'll be able to see it on this angle. Very hard to tell on that angle. We'll wait. Louis Caparuso is going to be who is charged with the goal, at least for now. Thought that maybe Carruthers got a piece of it on the back end as it went in, but either way, it doesn't matter much. Royals are on the board, and it's now 3-1 with 4 minutes left to go in the second period. Let's see how the Komets respond. Here's Coyle. Keeping it in as he sends it back down deep. Clarkson. Clarkson is a load, I tell you that. He is a big fella. He sends one in, and a stick save deflected up into the netting and out of play. Get a face-off here momentarily. Want to remind everybody, one of our great sponsors of Komet Hockey here on MyTV Fort Wayne, Gregory Associates. For more than 6 decades, Gregory Associates has been Fort Wayne's insurance leader. Whether it's auto, home, any combination you might require, Gregory Associates can help you. Just call Mac. He can assist you in obtaining the best rates possible. Give him a call, 432-3695. And icing on the Royals. 3-1 is our score here from Reading. 3 minutes and 9 seconds left to go in the second period. Tommy Schegler on the call here. Parkview Sports Medicine bringing you Komet Hockey. And these next couple minutes going to be very critical for the Komets. These are the types of situations where things have not gone well for them this year. They come out strong, and then when they face some adversity, they have gone through periods where they have struggled. So you'd love to see them finish this last 3 minutes of the period very strong. Andre Makarov sees another shot in front. He covers up. And some pushing and shoving afterwards. Danis-Pépin was in on it. Yannick Tifu was the one driving the net. Pépin gave him a little extra shot after the whistle was blown. And we will see if somebody ends up going to the box for this. Don't think so, though. I think we're good. Both teams going to get wholesale shift changes. You're watching a scoreboard feed here from Southorn Center in Reading, Pennsylvania. See some of the crowd here on a Saturday night, hoping to come out and see Reading get a win. But right now, the Komets are spoiling that party, up 3-1. Rob Kwiet corrals behind the cage, gets it to Marino. Marino passed a little too much ahead of Coyle, but he ends up back with it, gains his zone, rebound in front, and Fleming unable to get wood on it. Here's Fleming, back to Marino. Two-man game. Centering feed to Auger. Auger here in the near side corner. Backhands it back in as the cycle begins. Taken down in the corner is Fleming. And now Marino fighting for it. Fleming back up into it as well. Everyone chopping. And it's Marino that ends up with it. Kwiet comes down, tries to save it. And the fight continues here in the corner. Winding and firing and deflected up into the net is Rob Kwiet's shot. So we'll get another face-off. Mentioned earlier, this is the middle of a 4-game road trip for the Komets. They go back to Elmira tomorrow. Obviously had the shootout loss last night, but if the Komets could come away with a win tonight and then go back to last place Elmira tomorrow and get another win, this would be looked at as a tremendously successful weekend. 5 out of 6 points. A lot of work to do. Loose puck in front. No one able to bang it home. Hartman gives chase here in the corner. 3 different Royals surround him. Lacoste finally runs it down here in the far side corner. And here's Kaylee Schrock. Kavanaugh ends up with it back for Reading. Minute and 20 left in the second period. Komets with a 3-1 lead here against the defending champ Reading Royals in their own barn. Centering feed, big save, Makarov. Walking in, and wow, surprised that Gasly did not pull the trigger as he was walking in on the wing and really had no one on him. Nice stick handling by Kenton Miller in front, sends it over into the corner. Southorn centering feed to Miller. Shot goes wide of the cage. Oh, a big hit down in the corner. Mickey Lang taken down. Lang's been somewhat quiet tonight. Danis-Pépin pokes it away, and here's Lang back with it. Full head of steam as he comes into the zone, leaves it. Winding and firing, Miller deflected in front, rebound in front, and Anderson hanging on. .2 seconds left to go in the period. Situation like this last night in Elmira where the Komets gave up a late goal. Maybe if I say it, I'll jinx it out of possibly happening again. They win the faceoff, centering feed in front, knocked away. Here's Rob Kwiet. And that will do it for the second period. Reading gets a goal, the only goal in the second period, but the Komets are still winning the overall battle. 3-1, they'll head into the final 20 with a 2-goal advantage. Shots on goal now 23-17. 13 shots given up on the net in that 20 minutes for the Komets from the Royals. Andre Makarov with a couple of beautiful saves. He's unable to clear, though. Now reeling just a little bit and unable to corral the centering feed was Caparuso, the Royal that tallied the goal in the second period, the lone goal for the Royals. Good poke check by Fleming, and now here come the Komets the other way. Odd man rush and a feed in front. Shot and loose puck, but then chipped out of the zone by the Royals. Nice toe drag by Fleming. Then a shot on goal on Anderson. This is Banwell. He's the defenseman that I talked about that literally got in here either moments before the game or moments after the game had already begun. Put his gear on, and he is out there on the ice and with the puck right now, trying to get through the neutral zone, but Vaskivuo cancels out that threat, and the K's now attempt to clear. Digging at it in the corner and coming away with it is Montero. Loose puck in front, and the K's clear. This is Miller. Miller into the zone. Leaves it for Lang, and Lang has it taken away. Going the other way with it is Tifu, winding and firing. Good save by Makarov, deflected off into the corner. That offering by Gaisley. Gaisley with it again. Cycling it into the corner. Puck in front. Makarov didn't see it. K's got lucky there. And tipped into the zone there. Now the K's try to clear. This is Coyle sending it up the boards. And this is Schrock. Schrock into the zone. Schrock up the wing. Loses it behind the net. And coming away with it is Lukesevic. Santana, cross ice feed to Lukesevic, who winds and sends one in. That goes up in the air, and Makarov grabs it with the glove. 16:52 left to go in the game. K's with a 3-1 lead. Andrei Makarov really has been a big story of this game. Some fantastic saves. We shouldn't discount the effort of the guys in front of him, as it has been a good all-around defensive game for the Komets. All right, setting up. Campanelli comes away with the face-off win. Shot never made it through from the corner, and then set up over the glass. It'll come back into the Komet zone for the face-off. Come on out to Champion Sports Bar on Monday night, everybody. Sound off with the Komets. Chase Coyle going to be our guest. 7:30 is the show. Free parking, as we got a whistle as getting into it here on the near side. Tough angle for me to see who that is right now. I believe it's Carruthers for the Royals and maybe Coyle. I believe that is Coyle down there in the corner, but they decided to play nice, and now we get another whistle. Face-off set up, Campanelli against King. Campanelli comes away with the win. He's won a lot of face-offs tonight. Deflecting into the corner. Auger, Makarov, big save! What a save by Makarov in front on the one-timer feed. And an offside call on the Royals. Andrei Makarov, maybe his biggest save of the night, sprawling out. To keep it at 3-1. Comes back out to center ice. This is Miller, and he will face it off against Tifu. Tifu comes away with the win. And here is Redding. A lot of play down in the Komets' end so far in the first 5 minutes of the third period. Komets trying to change that right here. Vaskivuo sends one in wide right. Mickey Lang behind the net. Here's Vaskivuo looking to feed out in front. And it is intercepted and taken the other way by Bryant Molly, former Komet. Jordan Southorn sends it in. Back come the Royals the other way. Not too many odd man rushes given up by the Komets tonight. That was something that Gary Graham said was going to be mission number one for the Komets, to make sure they limited the amount of chances. And now out in front, Mickey Lang, the league's leading goal scorer, adds to that tally, his 15th of the season. Mickey Lang makes it 4-1 Komets. A breakout where Lang got behind the defenders. And you see it on the replay. Goal number 15 for Lang. as he continues to add to his league-leading tally and has made it a 3-goal game here in Reading. Here's King. Shot up into the netting by Zidlowski. And you can't put enough emphasis on how big of a goal that was for the Komets right there to now have a 3-goal lead, 15-18 left to go in this game. Zidlowski will face it off now against Luksovic. Zidlowski in front, King unable to get over there to send a shot in from the slot. And now an icing going to be called on the Royals. We'll take it back down to the other end. It will be Sean Zidlowski. And the face-off won by Blandina. Streaking up the wing is Lukesevic. Lukesevic sends it over to Clarkson. Shot in front, save Makarov. And here come the K's the other way, but taking it and then sending it quickly back in is Kavanaugh. And here come the Komets, quickly countering in the other direction. Taken off the play is Kaylee Schrock. No problem as they now get a change. Carruthers, centering feed and a full head of steam into the zone. And a centering feed, no one home for Seiner. K's clear. Brandon Marino giving chase. He stalks Campanelli. Drifting back behind his own net is Degon. Here's Caruso. Caparuso into the neutral zone, and the Komets turn it over. K's have won that turnover battle, and here they come the other way, winding and firing. Marino, but Anderson the save, and then Fleming sent into the net by Santana.
And now, back to My Komets Hockey on My TV Fort Wayne, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
And goes after Lang in the corner, and we have a serious melee here. Brandon Anderson has taken his helmet off, and he went after Mickey Lang hard. Lang was driving to the net and was forced into Anderson by a Reading defender, and Anderson just lost it. And it's going to take a little bit to sort this out. Miller getting into it with Dominic Minardo. Words still being exchanged. You could see on the replay there, it was Aaron Jens kind of forcing Mickey Lang in to Brandon Anderson, and then Anderson absolutely lost it. Lang is headed to the penalty box. We will see if anyone else is going to go in for the Royals. At this point, it doesn't look like it. Kaylee Schrock talking to the ref, trying to get an explanation. Mickey Lang is the only one that has been sent into the penalty box, so it appears that it's going to be a power play for the Royals. Well, and now they've just put up, and Anderson is also going to be charged with a penalty. Taking that time in the box for him is going to be Ryan Kavanaugh. There was a delay there. Kavanaugh just went into the box for Reading. I found it hard to believe that Anderson wasn't going to get something for that. So no power play is going to be given. Lang is in there, Kavanaugh is in there. And it has definitely given a spark to this crowd of just over 4,000 here at the Southorn Center. "13 minutes left to go in the game. We'll see what that down the stretch. We're going to be 4-on-4 here. Caparuso is booted out of the face-off circle, so it's going to be Sindar. Goaltender interference. Goaltender interference for Lang, roughing for Anderson, or the official calls one-timer goal! Chris Auger, and quickly the crowd is silenced here as Chris Auger, a one-time top shelf goal in the slot, has made it 5-1. Wow, what an answer for the Komets, as you see on the replay. That one was blasted by Auger. Second goal of the game for Chris. And it is now 5-1. Auger's 9th goal of the season. He had a shorty in the first period that really got things going for the Komets. Rister sent in, no problem for Makarov. As Banwell comes away with the save, and now we got a melee in front. Southorn getting into it. This is Menardo. Jordan Southorn, no problem there with the Royals' leading goal scorer. Things getting a bit chippy here in the old barn in Reading. A lot of frustration spilling over for the Royals. Menardo heads over into the box. Southorn actually went back into the dressing room. Couldn't see if he was cut in that whole situation. We'll have to see exactly. Both Menardo and Southorn get the 5-minute fighting call, but here's Coyle sending one in, deflected by a defender, and goes wide of the cage. Kwiet working on a defender that's lost his stick. Kwiet in front, and a score! Mike Vaskivuo on a nice feed from Rob Kwiet. And the Komets have opened up a 6-1 lead. Most of the crowd headed for the tunnels here in the Southorn Center as the Komets have put together their best game of the season here in Reading. An amazing feed by Rob Kwiet to find the driving backdoor move by Mike Vaskivuo, who sends it home past Anderson, and we got a fight right off of the faceoff. William Lacasse and Marvin Degon are going at it toe for toe. They're running out of room in the penalty box right now. 3 Royals are in there. Only 2 Komets because Southorn went back to the dressing room. 6-1, 11:53 left to go in the game. And a proud Komet sponsor, let Matt Gregory and Gregory Associates assist you with your insurance needs, whether it's for home, auto, life, or business insurance. Since 1933, a family business taking care of families and business. So many assists thrown out there tonight. At this point, having a hard time keeping up with it as the Komets have opened up a 6-1 lead. And now it's King. He's got a man working with him. Sends one in, deflected over into the corner by a Royals defender. And the threat subsides. Chipped up is Clarkson. And then working into the zone is Blandina. Blandina in the slot, deflected up and over to the glass. Redding keeps it in. And that first round of penalties that were Mickey Lang and the goalie Anderson have finally now expired. So we're back to 5-on-5. We've been playing 4-on-4 this whole time. All these fights, driving into the net, centering feed, and a score. Lukasovic, Ned Lukasovic, as Ryan Carruthers was driving and put a perfect pass on Lukasovic's tape, and he sent it past Andrei Makarov. So 6-2 now, still 10:40 to go in this game. Lukasic gets the goal. K's now with a 4-goal lead, though. Oh, slipping a defender and walking in. That was Gaisley. Loose puck out in front. K's are finally able to clear. And then it's flipped up into the Komets bench. So we got a whistle. 6-2 Komets. They lead it. 10 minutes left to go in the game. Komet Hockey here on MyTV Fort Wayne, brought to you by Parkview Sports Medicine. Next game on the 28th. So we got a couple weeks off. December 28th. Make sure everybody has a great holidays. We won't talk to you until after Christmas. But the 28th is our next game here on MyTV Fort Wayne. That'll be Saturday nights at Evansville. And streaking down the wing, putting on the brakes, and then leaving it for Marino, who scores! Scott Fleming to Brandon Marino. And the Komets have put up a 7 spot here in Reading. You see the replay as Fleming put on the brakes and then saw a streaking Marino who one-times it home, top shelf. And our fantastic sponsor of the assist, Matt Gregory's getting his money's worth tonight. I got to tell you, everybody. For more than 6 decades, Gregory Associates has been Fort Wayne's insurance leader. Whether it's auto, home, any combination you might require, Gregory Associates' clear choice to meet all your protection needs. Let Matt Gregory assist you in obtaining the best rates possible. Give them a call, 432-3695. Komets have a 7-2 lead here in Reading. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
I am Brian Bosiak.
To My Komets Hockey on My TV Fort Wayne. Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Brandon Marino, his second goal of the night, 9th of the season, has put the Komets up 7-2 in a wide-open third period as these two teams have put up 9 goals collectively. Luckily for all of us, 7 of them have been by the Komets. We still got 9 minutes left to go in this game, everybody. Tommy Schegler with you here from Reading, Pennsylvania. Here is Miller gaining the zone. Driven into the boards. Taken off of the play. And nice little give and go, but unable to finish in front are the Royals. Signer part of that. Schrock whips around and tries to send one in. Blocked away by a defender before it made it to Anderson. Back come the Royals. Long ahead, Caparuso lost an edge, and it's once again cleared. That'll come all the way back down and be an icing. All the way down to the other end, here we go. 8:09 left to go in the game. 7-2 is your score. Face-off won by Miller. And then the K's flip it out of the zone. All the way down to the other end. And once again, another icing. K's definitely kind of going into a protect the lead mode and keep everything in front of you and try to just get out of here, as obviously Reading, very frustrated team that has this kind of night. No telling what they'll do coming down the stretch. K's want to stay out of any kind of fray. Feed in front, intercepted by Chase Coyle. Here comes King. King poked away in the neutral zone, and Clarkson will come back the other way for Reading. Clarkson loses a handle, and Komets ship it out. Santana giving chase. Coyle turns it over behind the net. Centering feed by Santana is taken away by the Komets. They're able to clear once again. Komets kind of back in that shell now and just kind of all about clearing it from the zone and killing this last 7 minutes and 15 seconds that remains in this game and wrapping up what has been the best performance of the season. Brandon Marino. Centering feed, tipped wide by Fleming. And the Royals dump it in. Clarkson sends it here to the near side, corralling it up by the blue line and sending it back in deep. Campanelli fighting for it here on the near side. Luksovic. Here's Luksovic again. Thought about the wrister. Instead, centering feed. Squirts out into the corner. Winding and firing from the blue line. That was Kavanaugh. And the K's finally able to get it out, and they'll get a line change. Scott Fleming, another great performance for the Komets. One of many tonight, though, as there are several guys that have had a season highlight here tonight in this game against the Royals. 5:47 left to go in the game. 7-2. Komets still with an advantage in shots, but it's now just 30-29 as Vaskivuo flies up the corner and then feeds it in front. No one home. And back come the Royals the other way. This is Gaisley into the zone. Gaisley, shot on goal, deflected down in front, and covering up is Makarov. A lot of fans headed to the tunnels early, beating the traffic, as at this point, with just under 6 minutes to go, their team is down 5 goals. K's up.
Parkview Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to live action here. Andre Makarov off the face-off, yet another save. 30th shot on goal for the Royals. 28 saves for the Russian tonight. Face-off won there by Fleming. Check that, Miller, and he's the one with the puck going into the zone. Sends one in on Anderson, wide of the cage, and over here in the corner now. Turnover deep in the zone. Vaskivuo looking for somebody in front, sends it, and Anderson covers up. Hey, one of the Komets not on this trip. Well, guys, it's been kind of down and out with an injury. Jeremy Gates. Just talking to him on Twitter. I think he's watching the game tonight. Get back soon, Gator. Everybody misses you. But I know that you're starting to get healthy, as I believe I saw him at practice getting a little work in this week. So we can expect to see Gator back on the ice soon for the Komets and continuing to strengthen the defensive unit for the K's that has been great here tonight. Only giving up 2 goals, and they have a 7-2 lead as we are now under 5 minutes to play. Here's Mangan. He hasn't seen much ice time here tonight. He sends one down deep in the zone. Now he's here behind the net. Feed intercepted in front. Coming away with it and going in the other direction, Kavanaugh. Blandina sends it down deep. Makarov comes out of his net and sends it into the corner. Blocker save deflected into the corner. And deflection in front. Makarov was down. The net was open, but the shot goes wide at the 4-minute mark. .345 left to go. Here's Marino. Marino over to Fleming. Back to Marino. And they tried to get fancy there on the give and go. Didn't even get a shot off. But, hey, up 5, under 4 to play. The guys are having some fun out there. That's not something that we've been able to do that much late in games. This is the kind of game, I'm telling you, that can really change the spirits of a team. Go on the road to one of the better teams in the league and finish the way that they had tonight as another shot is sent in by Coyle. K's continue to fight to keep it in now. And this is definitely one of those games that obviously they have to follow it up, and we now have to see that surge come after a win like this to really be able to point to it as a season-defining moment. But it is definitely one that could start a rally that could get this team headed on a roll that we've been waiting for. We know they have the ability. They've skated with everybody they've been on the ice with so far this year. It's just been a matter of putting it all together, and they've done that here tonight. Turnover in the neutral zone here at the Royals. They retreat back into their own zone, and now here comes the rush. Shot deflected high and out of play. A "Let's Go Komets" chant coming from a few lone Komet fans here behind the Royals goal. Doesn't matter where you go to watch a Komet game, you know that you're going to find a couple Komet fans in the stands. That is a great thing about this organization and the following that they have. Approaching the 2-minute mark here in Reading. Tristan King taking off the play, but Schrocky's able to chop it back in deep and then sends one in on Anderson. And we got a stoppage, believe in offsides. Yep. A couple of housekeeping things. I want to make sure that we remind everybody again that Chase Coyle is going to be our guest on Sound Off with the Komets this coming Monday. Come on out to Champion Sports Bar. Family friendly. Can bring the kids. It's a good time. Somebody in the live audience is going to win a Steve Fletcher autographed bobblehead along with 4 tickets to an upcoming Komet game. Parking is free as well. You can check out Santa when you're down there, lit up on downtown, and maybe get a coney dog. Downtown, great time of year, holidays. Parking is free for any Champions customer. Park in the parking garage behind the Courtyard by Marriott. So come on down on Monday. 7:30 is the show time. Can't make it down, be sure to tune in on 21 Alive. Tommy Schegler here with you from Reading, and what has been a fantastic game on this Saturday night. 7-2, the Komets lead it. We have 1:30 left to go in the game. And this one is all done except for the fist bumps and high fives that will come at the end. One minute left to go here from Reading. Vaskivuo to Lang. His shot goes wide. Weird angled shot deflected down in the corner. Makarov, another save. Reading has actually come back and leads in shots on goal now, 32-31. But that doesn't matter much when you have a 7-2 spot on the board and we have more action after the play. Signer getting into it with Lacoste. .38 seconds left to go, everybody. Komets head to Elmira tomorrow. If they can get a win in Elmira tomorrow, it would be great to see them follow it up. And really, if they give an effort like this, you have to like their chances. The Jackals have struggled this year. They're in last place. And a win would give Kays 5 out of 6 points on a 3-game rodeo over the weekend. Final 5 seconds. Komets are going to come away with a 7-2 win here in Reading. Best game of the season, no doubt, for the Komets. We're going to take a break, and we will be back, talk a little bit more about this one, and wrap up this broadcast of Komet Hockey. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine and airing exclusively on My TV Fort Wayne.
Welcome back inside the Sovereign Center. What a great game it was for the Komets tonight. Definitely the best game of the season so far for the K's. 7-2, the final, as they finish off the defending champs Reading in their own barn. When you look at the scoring, Fleming obviously got things started off. Chris Auger was fantastic tonight. He ends up with 2 goals. Mickey Lang, 2 goals. Mickey Lang 1 goal. Marino was the other one with 2 goals. Mike Vaskivuo gets into the act as well. So Andrei Makarov also big in the net. He was fantastic throughout, had a couple of really big saves. Maybe the biggest one came early in the third period when he sprawled out, made a huge save, and from that point on, the K's really just poured it on the offensive side. Officially, Makarov ends up with 30 saves on 32 shots, a 7-2 final. The K's now head to Elmira to finish up the weekend. Love to see them get a win and really kind of finish off this weekend with an exclamation point. I want to remind everybody our title sponsor, Parkview Sports Medicine. We want to thank them as always.